Hello and welcome to Centre Never Apart. These are our filmmakers for our LGBT film series, Gay Shorts. How's it going?
Fine, thanks. Super.
Why don't you introduce yourselves? Starting with Dom.
Repeat the question.
Tell us who you are.
I'm a man. I'm a director. I'm 29 years old. My favorite color is green.
I didn't ask all that. I asked your name. I'm just kidding. It's true. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Oh. Orange. Okay.
Frigid, musician, soap maker, makeup artist, freak, goddess.
Goddess. You have to share mics.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go. My name is Brock Zurich, and I'm a filmmaker from New York.
Well, welcome, and thanks to all of you for coming. In this day and age, obviously, there's a lot of crap going on in our world. Why is it so important to create queer films for each of you?
For me, it's to dream stronger than reality, because we don't live in a golden age. It's what we thought was solid, acquired, is now at risk. And we just have to look at our field, our Facebook feeds to see how bad things are going.
Yeah, I think it's more important now than ever to have a voice and share that voice. Frigid, what do you think?
For a while, I was actually trying to go away from the too freaky stuff, in my art, because I was just I need to appeal to a bit wider audiences and stuff. And then I was just with what happened in the US when the transsexuals and all the Orlando shooting, all that stuff, all that's been happening pretty recently. I was just you know what? When I was a kid, I was experimenting with masculine and feminine a lot more. I was not putting myself in boxes. I was just having fun and not giving a shit what people think. And the world seems to be closing on itself a little bit more now. It seems to be a little more judgmental and trying to bring us back, and we only go forward all the time. So there's no point of. And I'm just you know what? I have a voice. I should have fun, and actually just having fun, being inspired, creating something that might open up some minds, or just make people just be free and just free spirits, and just go, I'm trying, I don't know if you notice in the videos, but I'm trying to each video to bring in something else. It's not always going to be that androgynous all the time, but I just play with characters. I like to show that you can be more than just one little thing, that, oh, this is me, I'm like this. I'm just trying to break that with what I do. So yeah, but I think it's very important these days with everything happening that people try their own way. This is my way of doing it, but any way is good. Any movies we saw tonight, just being out there and having a voice.
Yeah. Different spectrum.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's yes, now more than ever, it's necessary to make queer films and stuff and things of that nature. But I think it's always been important for the underdogs to pop their heads up and say, you got to listen. We're here. We're not going away. We're not going anywhere. And one of my friends was saying, Brock, why do you get so upset about this stuff? You get so bent out of shape and worked up. And it's well, you're damn right I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. Because I still have to get bent out of shape about this. When I don't need to get worked up and bent out of shape, then we're in a good place. But we still need to. We have always had to. Different, whoever is, there's always somebody with their foot on someone's neck, and we're not going to sit there and take it. Yeah. And that's why we have to continue to make films that say, we're here. And that's very important to me. And so, yes, now more than ever, but there have been many people before us, and there will be many people after us that will still have to do even more. I mean, so many difficult things and so many ways to help the underdog. So that's why I want to be a part. I don't want to get old and think back and say, I could have done more. What could I have done? That's why it's all of our responsibility to whatever whatever you're comfortable with. Some people march, some people write, some people make films, some people paint, and whatever whatever gift God gave you, use it, and that's my whole thing.
Art through activism. I love that. Yeah. Within the films, we saw a big spectrum of, obviously sexuality and gender, and, like you were talking about hyper-feminism, some hyper-masculism thing. Why is it important to celebrate that diverse spectrum of, being queer, just being human? Like, it's sexuality and gender are fluid. So how would you
It's
describe
like
that?
without us, who would tell this story? Because if I have a precise idea, it's not taken that somebody else will tell the story with the same perspective, and that's why we are passionate. It's because it's like the question is who else will do it.
Right.
That's my initiation, my inspiration.
Well, Jeffrey, I mean, you really played on the sort of hyper-feminism, feminist sort of stuff with the work that you were doing. Explain that and why that's important to express that.
For me, it's since I'm a kid, I always were the friend of the underdog all the time. People just, were like rejected and bullied, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be my friend, and they were always awesome people. And for me, it's just a way, being all those freaks and all that, it's just to, it's hard to explain, but it's been in me all the time, just
right.
I could be the cute boy next door, and I've been.
Parts of my life. Pull that off too, yeah.
I've been there, and it felt good. It felt great too. I just needed to just kind of let go, and it was okay. But at the same time, we're so complex, and the society is always trying to say boys are this, girls are that, black people do this, and it's very like we're put in boxes in so many ways. Even on Grindr and whatever Scruff, it's like I'm a twink. Like for me, just all this stuff is very limiting.
Yeah,
it's always been since I'm a little kid. I would never define myself by my gender or by my race, or I never thought of that, or who I sleep with. And I think a lot of people, even straight people, are being really more open-minded and understanding, and meeting people that are very different from them, but they can still have a great connection with them, and so everybody's opening up. But then there's force that's trying to bring us back. But the good thing is feminism, everything is on the rise right now at the same time. It's not, for me, it's very positive actually what's happening now. It's just a transition is very rough.
Right.
It's not as comfortable as before, but I really feel like the world's opening up, and it's not gonna go back. It's not gonna happen. So it's
we're not gonna let it.
Yeah.
Brock, what do you think?
About
well, I mean, a lot of your film work deals with hyper-masculine sort of stuff. Why is that important for you to express? And
well, that's just what I know. I grew up in Ohio, and I was surrounded by men who were that, Midwestern guys.
Right.
A lot of man's man. That was the term that I heard growing up, and always was like,
you're like, I like
it
that.
kind of threw me off. Yeah, he's a man's man, and I was like, well, so am I. That was always the weirdest phrase. But so yes, I have. That's where I get a lot of my inspiration. Is just, there were people, guys and girls that I went to school with that you could, I'm assuming that you're gay. You can tell that they're gay, but there were people that came that surprise you because they don't seem gay or whatever, and we still feel, we get that, and you just people say that to me all the time, oh, I didn't even know you were gay, and I'm like, put on Beyonce, honey, and we'll, I'll change your mind. But I still struggle with that every day, feeling it's an everyday struggle to become more comfortable with your feminine side, and I still have my reservations with that because it was so not okay for so long. I mean, we all get our asses kicked for acting like that, right. And so I had to act a certain way, and I started going to the gym, and I put on this armor, and I still do. I still have struggles with it. I'm not cured of this. And that's a way for me to express it is with my writing. a lot of my characters are hyper-masculine men that have a lot going on underneath.
Talking about your film, I mean, you personally were affected with the Orlando tragedy.
Yeah.
Tell us about that story, and was making this film a way of sort of healing from that?
100%. Yes, it was. So I worked at Pulse for a few years in college. I went to college in Orlando, and it was where I met my first boyfriend. It was where I came out. It was where I made some of my best friends, and it was just. I mean, it's like on the news. Like, it's exactly what they said. It was a place where people could feel safe and come together and have a great time, and it was a staple in the community. Anybody in Orlando is very transient. There's a lot of people that visit, or Disney has a lot of programs, international programs. So people from around the world, if you were gay, you went to Pulse. So Pulse was actually very, very popular. And so we wake up to the news. My best friend called me, my best friend Nima, he's like my gay mama, and he was the manager that night. And he was the event coordinator and the manager, and called me and told me everything that happened. And so we went down on Thursday. That happened on Sunday. We couldn't get down there until like Thursday, and we were with everybody. We lost some of our people, and it was like, here it comes. Oh, okay, we're good. Okay, we lost some of our people, and we were there. We were mourning, and we were celebrating, their lives and everything, and the amount of love that came from all of that. And like I was telling you earlier that there were rainbow flags on church signs out on their, on the church yards, and I was just losing it. And we would go. Nima sort of became the voice. Nima became the face of this movement, and he went to speak everywhere because he was such a popular figure in the Orlando gay community, and he just became such a huge force of love. And he spoke to 40,000 people at around Lake Eola that Sunday evening, and so to be with him, to be by his side for that was just so important. And I didn't know how to process these feelings and everything that was going on. I was still getting mad about it, and I was waking up and just angry and fighting, and just little things would just get to me. And I was inspired by a play that I saw, and it kind of inspired me to write this short film, and it flew out of me. And I had wanted to write I wanted to write a part for my friend Naomi, who's trans, who was an actress but just wasn't having a lot of opportunities. So I made sure that I wanted to give her a chance to act in this film, and she's fantastic. And then I just found out that my friend Lewis, who lost his boyfriend that night, it was National Coming Out Day. So on Facebook he writes, I was outed because of Pulse. And my family, and I knew that his family, when they found out about him, that it was not good. And I said, I just made a movie about that. And I was like, can I show you? And he was like, yeah, this was like what I went through. And so that just was like,
that was like yesterday.
That was yesterday. Actually, I sent him. I was on the way here, and I sent him the movie, and I was like, and I said, you want to see this because it's very close and to what you went through. And so and that just was like, I just kind of came up with the story based on what I knew, based on facts, and it was it ended up being very close to somebody, to their real actual story. So, and I know it's very controversial what I did, and it's very touchy and very sensitive, but I tried my best to be as respectful of the story, of the night, of everything, and I tried to be as tactful as possible, and just let people know that it's all about respect and showing the love that comes out of that night. And yes, it was terrible, but something beautiful came out of it. So that's it.
Wow. Dom, let's talk about your films, especially the Canadian moments, especially. I really, really like those. Tell us what was the inspiration behind those, and why you made them.
It's because back then in 2005, nobody was talking about the celebration of gay marriage. We were like, yeah, we got it. And it was silence on the radio after. And it was during the reign of Stephen Harper So the heritage minutes were more like a continent from the right. So I thought it would be a good concept to use something from the right and just inject it with something from the left.
Right.
So it was like my Trojan horse on the web, and after it went viral on the web and in the other countries, they thought it was for real. So,
Well, because it looks exactly like part of that series.
but at the same time, they're quite campy. They're quite campy.
But I mean, the originals were too. These are Canadian heritage little moments that we would see on TV. You probably don't know them, but it's sort of, I don't know how long they've been going on, but it was really cool to.
Since '92.
Okay.
Around that.
Yeah. So really cool. And tell us about Forces, how that movie came to be, and maybe about the award that you won last year as well.
Okay, so yeah, when I won the award last November, they said that there were not that much films about masculinity and what it means to be masculine. And so I wanted to deconstruct masculinity, and at the end of Forces, you have that intense rhythm who is like flushed away by the river, and you have the introduction of sensitivity. So for me, masculinity is more like you said, an armor. It's more like a mask. And at the end of the short film Forces, you feel that those two guys, they are at a next level in their friendship, and they are no longer in the world of football, the world of sport and army, but their relation is the focus at the end, and what's the next level. So it's an intense bromance, and I really wanted to have a straight character and a gay character, because there's no much stories about friendship between a gay and a straight character. And what is interesting is there's no sexual intercourse between a gay and a straight, if you understand the concept. So the thing is, sexual tension is sometimes more sexy than the act itself.
On screen.
On the screen.
Just kidding.
But the artistic research was all about what could be sexy in that interaction. I had a lot of bromances with straight guys, and I was like, what are the movies talking about it? I guess I need to create my own.
I think that's kind of what you all do, and I know a lot of filmmakers do, and especially in this time, you can make your own film. So there is that do-it-yourself kind of thing. Maybe let's talk a little bit about that with all of your projects. Like, I mean, obviously you have the idea, you have to conceive it. You either go on a GoFundMe type thing, or you just make it yourself, or you somehow have funding. Tell us about your experiences and how you go about making your work.
Okay, so here in Quebec, we have Conseil des Arts et Lettres du Québec, Conseil the Canadian Art Council. You have SODEC. Téléfilm Canada is not funding short films, so you have to apply. But it's like there's a long waiting list, and even if your project is good, it's a lottery at a certain point, because it's maybe 3-4 judges in a room.
It's very subjective as far as who gets the
So for Forces,
coins.
yes. So for Forces, it took me maybe 5-6 years. I used my own money to finance it, and I really wanted to have many locations. So I guess at the end of the day, it was interesting to have that many locations, because it's like a laboratory project, to have 8 minutes, but maybe 25 locations. It's not something we can do with SODEC, where with 3 days and less you have to shoot your short film, maybe 4 days if you're lucky with your budget. Right. But it's going like a sugar on a coffee.
Saccharin. Joffrey, Frigid?
Well, I just spend all my money in my projects all the time, and music doesn't pay you like anymore. Like maybe live shows and T-shirts, but making music, it's crap. There's no money there. Like and then I'm making soaps and selling the soaps. Yet. I think I need to do more live. Like I haven't been doing much live for a while, and I know that's a strong thing that I have. So eventually I'll be making more money with that.
But that's the music industry now, even for like huge pop stars.
Exactly, all the grants here sometimes go to like Bruno Pelletier, puis like, je veux dire, c'est comme So there's not much, like all the big names here get all the grants for their music videos because they don't even have money to make music videos anymore. Like it's pretty bad. And I'm not seeing that as a money maker anyway. I think it can become, for sure still. And it's like not that it won't ever, but it's an investment, but it's an investment in my vision and what I do, and I'm really lucky. I have like amazing friends that are super talented.
Well, it's a real collaborative effort with you, right? It's a collaborative effort with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
They all work for free. I feed them good vegan food, and it's okay. It works out, but yeah. So it's a lot of investment, and the soaps. What I made with the soaps. It's not about the soaps tonight, but
buy the soaps at
that's
www.
one thing that I know I can sell, and everybody wash themselves. You know, like I'm like, oh, there's hope there.
Who's your director of photography?
C'est Jean-Sébastien qui est ici.
Oh, great job.
Directeur artistique, j'ai Jean-Sébastien Sénécal la photo, qui fait toutes mes photos aussi d'albums et de tout. Là, je suis vraiment je suis grillé de mon ami. Puis Jocelyn Leduc. Oh, sorry, I'm in French now. Yeah, switched like that. So yeah, Jocelyn has been directing all the design, even of my soaps, of the packaging and my websites and the video, the last one you saw, and yeah. So I'm really lucky. I work with mostly the same two amazing guys these past 2-3 years. Yeah.
My first film, I had to raise money, ask friends for money, and I put in some of my own, and then we were able to show it here last year at the Vernissage, and then after that I approached Dax, and he was gracious enough to help me fund 49, and we were able to. He became executive producer on that, and we were able to collaborate with Never Apart. So that was really nice. Thanks, Dax. Thanks, Dax, for that. So yeah, it's a lot of you do put in your own money, hoping that you know something will come out of it. But it is not a cheap endeavor. It is it's an expensive endeavor, but it's worth it.
A labor of love.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you're doing a new film right now. Talk a little bit about that, and you have a campaign that's ending in like hours.
Yes.
That's
yes. So
I gave you.
Don't worry, I'm
$10.
not going to ask anybody for money, but I am going to tell you about what we're doing right now. So my first feature film ever that I've done is called Test. It's based on the film that we showed here last year. It's based off of T County, but it's changed a lot. So the story is about a young competitive bodybuilder who is struggling with his sexuality and using steroids to cope with it. His coach is a little sexually exploitive, and it sort of shows the darker side of the sport of bodybuilding and what these guys kind of go through. And my father was a bodybuilder, and I competed when I was in college, kind of as a way to connect with him, because we just didn't really ever I love my father, but we are just very two horns on the same goat. We are just fundamentally.
Never heard that term. Sorry.
I got that from The Help. I love that movie. You remember when she says that? She's like, I hate him, Mama. She says, well, love and hate are two horns of the same goat. That was Allison Janney, and I will say that till the day I die. And so he did inspire me to get into the sport of bodybuilding, which I fell in love with, and I got into that. But I was gay, so it's very different for me because bodybuilding is a very in some ways I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but it's a very homophobic sport in some ways, but it's also very homoerotic, which is very.
I would say that
it's a very interesting sport in that sense. So there's been a few films about it, but my friend said to me one time, like, Brock, you should make a film about bodybuilding, and I was like, you're damn right, I should. I want to, and I just never figured it out. But then I used T County as a way to come up with the script, and it's evolved. So yes, it is. I'm working on this feature film now. Here's the kicker. I was like, great, I've got this script, and I'm really proud of it and really excited about it. What do I do? How do I raise $300,000 to make a feature? Yes, that's how much a feature costs. So this competition fell into my lap called the Hometown Heroes Rally on seedandspark.com. I went to a Seed and Spark seminar, and it's basically Kickstarter for films, and it's an amazing website. It's crowdfunding, and I went to a seminar in January with my friend Erica, my AD on 49, and I got on the mailing list, and they sent me an email saying Mark Duplass and Jay Duplass, his brother, are sponsoring this competition. There are so you have to run a campaign for 30 days, and in the Hometown Heroes Rally, if you have a film that's unique, diverse, and set in your hometown. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So we're gonna shoot my hometown in Ohio. So the competition is a crowdfunding competition, and it ends tomorrow at noon. And we have to have the most followers. We have to be in the top 10. There are 73 films in this campaign right now, and we're number 4. Which is, yeah, you're damn right, sir. Thank you for that whistle. It's been insane. And the love and support that has come from this thing, so many people have messaged me saying, oh my God, this is my story. My friend was on steroids. I was on steroids. I didn't feel like I was enough, so I did this. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of us do that. And it's a big issue, especially in the gay community. A lot of these guys are juicing, and no one's talking about it. So if you guys could pull out your phones, see, all we need is followers. This is what I'm going to ask you guys. This is what I'm going to ask you guys right now. No money. It is free. It's absolutely free, right? Okay, I'm going to make that clear. No money. We need followers, okay? So if you go to seedandspark.com, seedandspark.com, Seed and Spark, okay? If you go to the video, to the campaigns, you'll find test. I'm asking everybody in this room to click follow, all right? Because it ends at midnight, and we need these followers.
It's a shame we're not live, because this is going to come on after, and hopefully you got all the funding.
Yes. We raised
$35,000
in 1 month.
Wow.
It's been bananas. It's been insane. Like the traction that this film has gained has just been through the roof.
It obviously resonates with people.
Yeah. And something so raw and so personal, and I didn't want to make the character gay. The original character of Eddie was straight, and he was dealing with other stuff, and my friend was like, Brock, what's your story? And I said, well, I was competing at the same time that I was coming out of the closet. And he goes, there you go. Right. So I was like, oh, that's really scary. But I did it, and it really paid off, because a lot of people are really connecting with this, gay and straight.
Right.
You know, it's a lot of people can
a lot of people deal with body image as well as insecurities and all of that. So I think it resonates.
That's really on a deeper level. It's about substance abuse and the things that we do to make ourselves feel like we belong. So that's really what it's at the deeper level. You know, on the surface, yes, it is set against the bodybuilding world, competitive bodybuilding world, and it's steroids, but it could be anything. It could be, you know, whatever people have used and had an issue with. Mine was steroids. That's what I was addicted to. Right. Some people have other stuff, and that was what I had. So, is it working? I'm gonna be here for a little while. Yes, you do have to sign in with Facebook, or you have to put in your email. I know it's annoying, but it's for free. So thanks, guys. I'm gonna be here for a while, and I'm gonna talk to every one of you. Don't think you're getting through that door without following seedandspark.com. Okay, thanks, Pat.
For all of you, what advice would you give young wannabe filmmakers, rock stars, video makers, all of that? What is your advice for them?
Just shoot it.
Yep. Yeah. Just do it. Frigid, what do you think?
I don't talk with wannabes. No, I'm joking.
The diva.
No, but I think nobody's a wannabe once you start doing it. Like,
right.
You just need to start. You know, like, that's why it's just do it. Yeah, just get into it. Like anything you do in life, anything, the more you do it, the more you spend time preparing for it, that like you become better at it.